Oh.
Hello.
Hello out there in Facebook land. Dr. Thea here with Jamie from the LearningRx again. And I just did my first full session of brain training.
Full hour
of brain training over here at the LearningRx in League City off of 518. And what's the cross?
landing.
And the landing.
The memory's going to get there.
I'm eventually going to remember that. I promise. That's what she's training me on. So she was just telling me what we went over today, so I thought it would be cool if she gave all of us just a quick rundown on what we did today for my first session.
Yeah, so we first started with an assessment, and the last video you can watch her take her assessment, at least one of the tests of it. So then we got the results from the assessment, and we saw the only kind of weak skill, and it's not even that weak, it's just something that she needs to work on, is the long-term memory, the logic and reasoning, and processing speed. So out of the 7 cognitive skills that we tested, those were the lowest 3. But then she super excelled at visual processing, so that's a good thing from your chiropractor. She has great visual processing skills. So today I focus a lot on her long-term memory, and by working on that, she memorized the first 15 presidents. So she can say from Washington to Buchanan, forward and backward. She can also do it every other president and stuff like that. So
just as a side note, I've never known the president, so this this was totally new. That was a totally new thing.
Going into it, I thought she might have known the presidents, and then the first 5 was kind of hard. So I was like, okay, we need to work on it a little more. So we worked on a lot of memory, and then we worked on a lot of logic and reasoning, and we did this through how would I explain this game?
Is that the one with the colors, the cards?
So she had to find patterns, and she had to find sets of 3. I don't really know how to explain it. You just have to kind of
It's kind of like, almost like the old school concentration game, but not. So she showed me different shapes, 3 different shapes, 3 different colors, and then different groupings. Just like cards, you have...
It's like a matching game.
Yeah,
in a way.
Kind of like a matching game.
So in order to play this game, you have to create systems. And if you create these systems, you're able to go through the game a lot more fluidly and a lot more quickly. So Dr. Thea was figuring out different systems for her and different things that work. So her systems were a lot different than my systems, and she found her own kind of way. So that was the whole point of logic and reasoning. She's going to logic through something and figure out how to create the best possible outcome.
And I noticed, too, it was about organizing the information in your brain.
Yeah. So, yes.
So if you organized it the same way every time, then it made it easier to find the matches she was asking me. And there was a timer going and a metronome as well. So there's background noise.
A lot of background noise.
Yeah, stuff to kind of distract you, but so that you could continue to do the exercise.
Yeah, and organizing is a great way to put it. A lot of people who struggle with ADHD, it's their logic and reasoning that's really low. That's what we see, logic and reasoning, memory, and processing speed being really low. So when it comes to a big task, someone with ADHD is not able to really organize it in a way to accomplish the task. They get kind of lost in the mix. So figuring out how to create systems for yourself is a lot harder for someone who struggles with ADHD. It's not a problem.
Right.
You just got to figure out how to use that to your advantage.
And that's interesting, too, because like I've talked about with you guys before, when kiddo comes into my office with some of these things and we start doing the chiropractic adjustments, the nervous system has to reorganize the system, like we take it apart and put it back together, so to speak, through the chiropractic adjustment and getting the nervous system to calm down. So it's kind of a twofold thing, too. You can see how the LearningRx and the brain training would go together really, really well. Hey, Carrie, it's good to see you. Would go really, really well together because I can help the nervous system from my end and then put them in a learning environment where now they can test it and use that neuroplasticity to really put it to work, and then we can see hopefully better focus. Not even hopefully, I shouldn't have said that. We will see
definitely see
better focus and stuff like that. So it's really, really a neat combo, the chiropractic and the LearningRx.
I think so too. So after the logic and reasoning, we worked on processing speed, and we did it by this guy. So she was just having to go through quickly and finding sums of 10. So she was having to go really quickly, and then we loaded it by, she had to count out her own seconds. So she ended up getting it within like 36 seconds, 40 seconds, which is excellent, especially for a first timer. So I was happy to see that. So that's something that I'm going to have to figure out how to make more complex for her, but we will definitely do it. But yeah, processing speed was worked on as well.
So for me, just coming from my standpoint, this is exciting. These are things that I've struggled with, and I found my own ways to overcome it over the years. Going to school, hey Marla, it's good to see you. Going to school, struggling in school, being dyslexic, and just kind of having to figure out my own systems down the way, and not really getting into chiropractic till later. But it would be a huge advantage for the kids out there today to have this, and so they can learn how to organize information, process information quickly, and so forth and so on. So it's a really, really big deal. And for me, clearing some of this stuff up now, because I have a big birthday coming, and my friend Marla does too, who's 50. Yeah, the big 50 next week. And my awesome friend Marla is going to have a big birthday, but I'm not going to tell you how old she's going to be, because she'll get mad at me, because we're on Facebook Live right now. But, you know, there's a lot of dementia and Alzheimer's and these types of things in my family. So I'm excited for me right now, too, to be able to work some of this stuff out, but also maybe to get some of the cobwebs and the bogged downedness out of my head, so that this will help me as I grow a little older. Marla. As I grow a little older, and I can start really working on my health and staying healthy, and maybe hold off some of that stuff down the road. So this stuff is for everybody. Would you agree?
Yeah, especially someone who is coming in because they do have concerns about dementia or MCI. We have seen great results with, not saying that you're old, but older because you know, we're just reawakening connections that you already have. They're just kind of dormant right now. So kids, it's a lot more of a tough process because we're building new connections. Whereas someone for you, they're already there. We just gotta reawaken them. Yeah.
Open them up.
And another thing I think I want to mention about you, how you figured out how to, you know, handle your ADHD and, you know, become successful. I think it came with an amount of grit too. Yeah. So, which is great to see, and I like seeing it because, you know,
thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome, but not everybody has that, and we could have made, I think, life so much easier for you.
Right.
If this education, what you're doing, what I'm doing, is out there, because people are going through the same struggle right now.
That's right.
We haven't found the solution, but I think once this education comes out, people will see, hey, life doesn't have to be so hard.
Right. So did you hear that, moms and dads out there? There's a lot of ways to handle these kiddos. There's lots of things that we can do to help them. We just have to find the right recipe for each kiddo, right? So food, exercise, less screen time, the brain training, the LearningRx here in League City, chiropractic. There's lots of things that we can do to help kids and adults that are having these issues, and just to make life maybe a little easier, so we don't have to struggle quite so much.
Definitely make life easier. And maybe you don't have a child that's struggling, but someone's out there and they're looking. Like, parents are looking left and right. And they don't know where to go right now. So if you don't have a child struggling, or you know, you're maybe retired, maybe share this with someone else. Because I guarantee you know a mom or a dad that's, you know, at wit's end. They've tried everything and they just can't find a solution. There's stuff out there, so keep trying.
Cool. So if this moves you, share it. I'll jump back on next Wednesday again when I come back to do my next session over here, 11:30s on Wednesday. I'm going to be hanging out with Jamie for about an hour, training my brain, and I'm really excited about that. And we'll see you next week for sure. Yeah. All right, peace out. If it moves you, share it.